Hi, so this is my statistics discussion 2 post. And so for my rectangular data set, I decided to create a data set based on my friends' dietary preferences. And this came about actually today when I was planning an event and I was trying to gauge what food that I should get for everybody. And I was having to decide what to get for all of my friends who have seemingly complicated diets. So I had to create options for everybody, and they could text me and tell me what they wanted or what they eat or what they don't eat. So I compiled 12 people, myself included, and I asked them if they had which one of these diet categories they fall into, and in turn I would know what to buy for this event. So these are all categorical variables because they answer the category of which each subject's diet would fall into. So the options being carnivore, vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, or lactose-free. Each person can only fall into one category, even though a vegan would technically fall into the lactose-free or vegetarian category, but those would both be combined in that specific diet. So we're canceling out for that. So there's the ID number to represent that there were 12 people in the study, the names of the participants, and all of the different types of diets. So those are all of the observations for the data. So our options for data visualization that I thought would best suit this data set were a bar chart or a pie chart. I chose both of these because I think they best represent categorical variables. Bar charts because each bar shows the area that represents the count of observations for each categorical variable. So in this case, that would be the diets. And pie charts, they're divided into sections whose area represents the count of the categorical variable, which would also be the diets. So each give a really nice visual representation of the count of all 5 of these different types of diets. Histograms are a great tool, but I think they better represent quantitative variables. So we're not going to use these for this chart. So let's make the charts. I already have them over here, but let's ignore that for now. So the first step that I did was I made a frequency table up here in this corner in yellow. I made a frequency table of all 5 of the diets and the frequency of each. So carnivore, there were 4 people that identified as carnivores, 2 people as vegetarians, 2 people as vegans, 1 is gluten-free, and 1 is dairy-free. So I added all those up and I got to 12. And then what I did is I highlighted all of this data and I went to insert, and I was lucky enough that both of them popped up in recommended charts. So I essentially graphed each, and then I added from the add chart elements, I inserted titles of types of diets with the frequency on the y-axis and the type of diet on the x-axis. And then this chart right here, after I actually found it in recommended charts as well, which was so lovely. Oh, it's not popping up right now, but it was there. But so then after I did all of this for the statistical analysis of this data, what I did was I took 4, for example, and I put in this formula. I did 4 divided by 12 times 100 to get 33%, and I did the same with all of this data. These were the same, so I just copied it down. This one, and then in turn, that would all equal 100%. So we know that everything is accounted for, and that is super awesome. So coming into the results and the pros and cons of each different type of chart. So the bar chart, I think the bar chart's really easy to understand, and I really like how it tells you the frequency. The frequency is always going to be on the y-axis, and then the different types of categorical variables are always going to be here on the x-axis. And I think they're very universally understood. Everyone's seen a bar chart and everyone knows kind of how they work. Some cons of it, I think that sometimes it doesn't give a good overview of the data, so it makes these really big jumps, like this is 3 and this is 4, and that's only one person, but those just look like very big jumps. And I think if you had 2 bars, it would get kind of cluttered, but other than that, these are universally well understood and well created, so pretty happy with that. Pie charts, on the other hand, are more tricky. I personally like them because they're very visual in the sense that you can even add the exact statistics that we created up here into the chart to even represent how much area is being taken up by each categorical variable. But so some pros of pie charts: they're large. It's easy to see the large distributions of data, and I think they're more visually appealing. Some cons: you don't know what the sample size is in either of these, but specifically in this one, if I'm only working with 12 people, but how do you know the difference between 12 and 1200, you know? So it can make sample sizes look bigger than they are, or smaller than they are, really. And then you can't observe too many trends at once, or else it would just get too crazy. So this is 5, and that's really as far as I would want to go, is 5 with this. So for the results, as you can see by the statistics I already presented and by the charts, you can see that out of all 5 diet options, my largest results for the sample were 33% defined as carnivores, so they ate meat. 25% of people said that they were dairy-free, 17% of people said they were vegetarian, and 17% said they were vegan, and 8%, or 1 person, identified as gluten-free. So a large spread across the board, and that's only 12 people out of the 50 people that are coming to this event. So I think I have a lot more statistical analysis to do of food that I need to buy. So thank you so much for watching my discussion. Bye!